What's up, y'all? Hope you're all doing good. So, guys, there's something about me I think is pretty embarrassing. It's part of my past, but I used to actually be one of those super hardcore, narrow-minded, conservative people. I look back on that and some of the stuff, y'all, I used to believe, some of the stuff I've said, some of the stuff that I used to stand for is nuts to me now. And not all people who are, this is not a video saying that if you're conservative, then you're bad. No, that's not what this is at all. This is a reflection of me. I was a conservative to an extreme that I was probably looked very wacky to a lot of other people because looking back at myself, it's like I look like a total whack job. Just believe some of the silliest stuff and even stuff, y'all, about my own community, about my own sexuality, just stuff that, I mean, it's just shameful looking back. But I was raised in such like a rural area, y'all, up in the Appalachian Mountains, and that's an area that nobody new moves in, and nobody that's been there moves out. Pretty much the same people that stayed there are the same families generation after generation. So, most of my life, I never left the South, y'all, until I was 25 years old, and my entire life, I knew nothing but those mountains. I knew nothing but the same people, never met anybody out of the area, and I didn't know anybody outside of the area, really. My dad, his family was from Georgia, and that was the furthest away that I knew anybody. So, I thought that's all there was to life. I thought the world revolved around South Carolina. That's all I knew. And then, growing up, a lot of the stuff, that we hear from that about the outside world was on the news. So that's what we really based all of our opinions and beliefs on about like other places and other people is what we heard on the news. But, up in my area, the only news people listen to really is like conservative news stations that, they're very much Republican and, so it's kind of biased. And so, growing up, the stuff that I used to hear about other people, other religions, other political beliefs, was, it was very, it could be very kind of just negative, I guess. And there was a good bit of prejudice about other people too that I thought was okay, I thought was normal. And this may not make any sense to y'all, but there actually was a time, y'all. Yes, I knew I was gay, I admitted it, but I did not believe that. I didn't think gay marriage was. There was a part of me that didn't agree with it because of my upbringing. I grew up in a very Christian household. And so, yes, for a while, I didn't support gay marriage. I thought, well, that's not what God intended on, happening was two men or two women marrying. The Bible says one man, one woman. But, y'all, that's all I knew. And plus, the thing about when you grow up in an area like that, you really, even if you do feel different about something, you don't really voice it as much. You kind of still pretty much, I used to lie sometimes really just to blend in and say I agreed with all the stuff that, other people said they agreed with just so we could just really get along. But, at the same time, I was so ignorant, y'all, that I literally believed everything that I was told. And the thing is, I was told all this stuff by people that had never been anywhere either. Everything they heard was just what they heard from somebody or something they heard on the news, something they saw on Facebook. And so, that's really I was really just one big filter of just what I had been told by everybody. I just believed what I was supposed to believe just because I was supposed to. I was just trying to be a good boy, I guess. But, the older I got, y'all, and I finally really was able to get out and move away, move outside of the South, y'all, my whole perspective literally changed on the world. The town that I'm from is nothing but, it's the same old people over and over. It's a little bitty small town. Pretty much everybody that lives there is almost predominantly 95% white people. Probably 95% Protestant, Baptist, Christians, and there's no, that's really all there is. Outsiders are really kind of looked down on to an extent. They're looked at like they're crazy and they're weird, and so that's how I viewed it too. So when I finally moved off here, I was around like so many different people, different religions, different races, different people who had different political beliefs. And at first it used to challenge me because, I always thought that I was, I'm conservative, Republican Dylan. So when I did move away at first and I was challenged by some of these beliefs, other people, I did not agree with it at all. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. This is dumb. But the longer I was out there, y'all, and I finally came into contact with more people, it's like my whole relationship with the world completely changed. I really realized the world is not as bad as people think it is, or that I thought it was before I moved away. Growing up where I was at, y'all, there was always this big thing about like big cities being scary. Oh, they're terrible places. Oh, they're so dirty and nasty, and the crime is so bad. It's dangerous to walk down the street. There's all these crazy liberal people, and so that's what I thought. But when I really, y'all, I've been to a lot of cities since then, big major U.S. cities. And I mean, yes, every city has this weird, rough part of town, but it was never, ever as bad as what was made out like it was when I was growing up. And flying on an airplane. Oh, you don't want to fly on an airplane. It's dangerous, and that's just, such a crazy thing to do. You must want to die if you get on an airplane. And, finally, when I did fly, I was scared to death the first time. But after doing it a couple times, I was like, I don't see what the big deal is. Like, why are they so scared? And, it really just boils down to ignorance. And, a lot of people in the area where I'm at, y'all, they're not bad people by any means. They just, all they know is their surroundings, and they do the best they can with that. I don't think they really have any bad intentions by any means. I mean, there's people, I'm sure, that do. I mean, there's people that have bad intentions everywhere in the world. But, the majority of the people that I grew up around, they were very good to each other. They really helped each other out. But when it came to certain, beliefs regarding politics and religion, it could be a very, very touchy subject. And even now, y'all, looking like on my religious and spiritual path, I'm a Catholic now. And, I also practice a bunch of other spiritual New Age stuff. And, looking back when I was growing up, that would be like considered taboo witchcraft, just crazy, devil worshiping. And that's really what I thought all that was. Like somebody we actually had a couple Catholics that lived in the town where I was from, because they had a little bitty small Catholic church. And I just remember we looked at them like they were so weird, or that they were just these foreign, crazy people moving in because they were Catholic. And, at the end of the day, they were just normal people like we are. There was nothing weird and crazy about them. So, y'all, me moving away like I did, that really helped me grow tremendously as a person. That is the one thing in my life I look back on that I think was the best thing that ever happened to me, was I was able to get out and really experience the world and grow as a person. I finally broke a lot of the stuff that, I was taught. And, they didn't teach me, the things I was taught growing up to be mean, or, just because they wanted me to be stupid. No, they did the best they could. And, I just happened to grow up in a different time, and happened to get different opportunities to get out that they did not get. And, so it really opened my eyes, and I consider it such a blessing because, there comes a time I want to have my own child. I mean, I at least want to have one, and I hope it's a little boy. And, it really makes me feel good knowing that I will be, like, teaching it some of the newer stuff that, I learned on my own, and not the same stuff that's been repeated to us, repeated to my family over generation after generation. And, it's really something that it's really a blessing. So, I'm very thankful for my experiences. When I first moved, y'all, it was so scary. I was around people that I just had no idea who they were, and it took a big adjustment, but it was well worth it. And, moving back here, y'all, being around, when I moved off, I didn't come home for like 3 years. And then, I went through my divorce and then moved back to South Carolina from St. Louis. And it was like coming back to a completely different world. I mean, here, yes, this is where I grew up. This is where all of my friends and family were from. But I just felt like such an outsider. And, when I came back like that, I did go through time. There were times, y'all, that I had very, very rough experiences getting along with people that I used to get along with, because it's like, it just astounded me that they believed the things that they believed. And I just, I just wanted so bad to tell them that, hey, that's really not true. It's really not like that. But, they would refuse to hear it. There's people out there, they want to be right about everything. And, it used to bug me because, they would talk about, for instance, the thing with big cities, about big cities being scary, about being places you don't want to go, talking about, and they would talk about St. Louis. Oh, I wouldn't live, that's a rough place. That's a scary place. I don't care if that's your opinion, cool, but have you actually been there? And they would say, oh, no, never been out of the South. Then why, I don't understand, then how do you know that? Like, how do you know that? Are you just like pulling stuff out of your ass that you're reading online, or do you want it to be that way? Like, I mean, I don't understand. And so, and that's how I used to sound too. I sounded like a total fool sometimes, some of the stuff I used to say. But, so that was a big challenge for me, was really having to learn to adjust to having much more of an open mind, because I was able to see through a lot of people, see through a lot of the ignorance, and, a lot of the people that just were uneducated, and it's almost like they thrived in that feeling of being, blissfully ignorant. I don't know what else to call it, but it's like they were happy that way, and they did not want, and a lot of people don't want to be taught new ways, because change is difficult. Change can be hard. And, when you have something, like here in the South, these people, they have their whole identity based off their religious beliefs, off their political beliefs, etc. So, when you challenge that, you challenge someone's identity, and they can rebel very badly whenever you do that. Because nobody wants to question their identity, end up going through like a whole, identity crisis. I've been through one before, and it's not fun. So, people really, I feel like a lot of it is just insecurity, because they don't like to be challenged, because they want to be so grounded in what they know and that it is the truth. Because y'all, just because you believe something does not mean it's true. I have learned that wholeheartedly through the years. I mean, it doesn't matter if it comes to religion. It doesn't matter what subject it comes to. Just because you believe something does not mean it's true. And so, that really kind of humbles me a little bit. And, so it makes me not want to get up and shout and preach, my views to everybody that I'm Mr. Right and you're Mr. Wrong. Everybody's got the potential to be wrong about a lot of stuff. So, guys, thank you all for watching this video. I will see y'all probably in a few days with another one. Do y'all want to just give me some more ideas of videos to make down, in the comments and stuff? Just let me know. I'm really trying to read through all of them, and I'm getting a lot of subscribers lately, a lot of comments, so I'm having a hard time keeping up, so bear with me. But guys, thank you all so much for joining. I'll see you shortly with another video. Thank you, guys. Bye.